Reason number 7,500 on why I'm terrified of flying. I just watched the movie 7,500, which is on Prime Video, and it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, sorry. Came out in 2019, it's rated R, it's an hour and 32 minutes long, and it's described as a pilot fights to maintain control of his airliner as terrorists storm the cockpit. Pretty decent reviews across the board. This is yet another unique movie that I have watched recently. The entirety of this movie takes place almost entirely within the cockpit. Like, the opening sequence in the movie takes place briefly, kind of in the airport, but once Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character enters the cockpit, it really never leaves that area. So that makes this movie really, like, claustrophobic. You never really see what's actually going on beyond that door. There are times where he's looking at the video feed of the camera just outside the cockpit door, but that's really the only look you get. And I have read some people who have stated, who are like pilots, that this movie is very like hyper-realistic. It feels eerily real. They filmed it on an actual airplane that they purchased. This is not like a set they built. And yeah, I mean, it really does feel just really authentic. And at times, this movie is really fucking tense. Like, my heart was racing a few times. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is the star of the movie, I feel like he is incredibly underrated in terms of his acting abilities. Obviously, he's a well-known actor, he's very popular, but in terms of his, actual acting, I don't really think he ever gets enough credit. He is excellent in this movie. He truly is. The entire movie, it centers around him. And I think the reason why it never leaves the cockpit for majority of the movie is because the story's being told from his kind of perspective. So I was reading that the director felt like if this character never left the cockpit, then neither does the audience. They don't need to leave either. So it gives that really realistic and very claustrophobic feel. Is it the most perfect movie I've ever seen? No. But I applaud it for its original style. It's different. You don't really get, you understand the terrorist motives here, kind of, but it never really dives too deep into why they're doing this, which I think actually adds another layer of realism to this, because this guy is just trying to make sure that the plane is safe and doesn't crash into a city somewhere. That's his main goal, his main priority, to spare as many lives as he can. And whatever their motives are, I can't fucking be bothered with it. So yeah, I actually really liked this movie. I didn't love it, but I thought it was a very, very good movie. Will I ever watch it again? Probably not, no. But it was definitely worth a one-time viewing in my opinion. So take that for what it is. A Complete Unknown is the new Bob Dylan movie. Sorry. I am so sorry to Bob Dylan. So I just finished watching the movie A Complete Unknown, which is the film about Bob Dylan. Someone that I admittedly don't really know much about in terms of their history. I know obviously his music. So I don't know if this movie was totally accurate or not. I was kind of Googling things as I was watching it, and some things were true, some things were they stretched the truth a little bit. Some things they just changed. And I'm filming this before the Academy Awards tonight. And A Complete Unknown, I believe, is nominated for 8 Oscars, including Best Picture, Director, Supporting Actress, Supporting Actor, and Lead Actor. After seeing the movie, the only one I really feel it deserves to win is Timothée Chalamet for playing Bob Dylan, because he was fantastic. He was excellent. He did all of his own singing in the movie, all of his own, he played all of his own music. And from what I have seen and heard of Bob Dylan over the years, he's really fucking accurate. But yeah, he 100% deserves to win the Oscar, and I hope he does. And if you watch this after the Oscars and he doesn't win, oops. Edward Norton is also nominated for Best Supporting Actor for playing Pete Seeger. Here's the thing, him as well as this actress here, Monica Barbaro, she plays Joan Baez. Both of them are very good in their roles, and both of them were nominated for Oscars. But here, the thing about the Academy Awards is every time I see, the list of all the acting nominees, I'm like, oh, okay. At least Timothée Chalamet does something, different. He goes outside of his norm to portray an actual person who has a lot of, eccentricities. He's very, quirky, different. His voice is different. And so that's why he's, it stands out. But, not to knock their performances, it's just oh, I've seen this type of performance in a movie a billion times. So why do some of them get singled out for recognition? It's always confused me. It's good. He's very good. It just isn't anything new, unique, different. The movie as a whole, it's a little over 2 hours long. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. And, you know, it's a biographical film about a real person, obviously. So it is definitely slow. It's not a fast-paced movie. But it is very well made. I mean, everything about it is really well done. I don't know. I guess I just didn't find, like, the whole story very, I don't know, all that compelling or different. Like, it's good. It's just not anything that I haven't seen a bunch of times before. Like, I will never watch this movie again. I enjoyed the first go-through, but I probably will never, ever watch it again. And if he wasn't so fantastic in this movie, I don't know if I would have even really liked it. I'm also not, like, a big, like, you know, music aficionado, right? So I know a lot of, like, people who are really into music and the history of music, the history of folk music, protest songs and whatnot will definitely find this story more compelling and interesting. I just personally didn't. It's good. It's just very meh to me. Elevated by a really, truly wonderful performance by Timothée Chalamet. So, I mean, I'd recommend it. I just personally didn't love it, you know? Okay. So I just watched this new Netflix show called Adolescence. It is only 4 episodes long. It's a mini-series. Boy, is it powerful. So basically it tells the story of a 13-year-old kid who is arrested and he's being charged with the murder of a fellow teenage girl. And each episode's kind of like a different point of view almost. The first episode focuses around the arrest. The second episode follows the 2 lead detectives on the case who are trying to gather more information, find the murder weapon, interviewing kids at the school. The third episode is the kid in question, you know, interacting with a psychiatrist. And then the fourth one kind of shows the fallout, the aftermath with the kid's family. The true crime, you know, person in me was fascinated by this story. This is not based on a true story or anything, but it's all fictional. But to me, it almost kind of reminded me of the James Bulger case, even though it's the victim in this story is not like a toddler. But like, that's just sort of like the vibes I got from, you know, him. But the big coup de grace of this show, something that was incredibly effective, was that every episode is done in real time. And it is literally a one shot. It's one single take for the entire episode. Meaning the camera does not cut. There's no cuts. It's literally a gigantic, long tracking shot following the cast around. And I was like trying to like watch, like, all right, there's a dark scene here. Maybe they put in a hidden cut, but there are no dark scenes. It's like, and it really truly looks like it's all done in one shot. Which props to these fucking actors, dude. Because it's almost like, it's kind of like probably like a show on Broadway. Like, you know, you couldn't fuck up, because if you fucked up, you'd have to start from the top. Everywhere I've been reading, there's nowhere that suggests that there was any hidden cuts. It's not impossible to do. It's really, like I said, it's props to them for getting that shit done that way. The performances in the show are out of this world. They're excellent. Even the kid, he's kind of, you know, scary at times, a little bit maybe. But the actor who plays his dad, he is fucking standing. Everyone in this cast is outstanding. But yeah, I mean, you're getting the point of view from the alleged killer in this case and how it affects that person's family. There really is no episode dedicated to the victim really at all. And it really does, that's why it reminds me so much of the James Bulger case, because he was killed by 2 children about maybe a little younger than him. And, you know, you're like, how does that happen where someone's so young? How does someone so young do something so awful, so evil? Are the parents at fault? Is society at fault? Is maybe their educators at fault? It's funny, when it comes to like a child who is potentially a killer, people look for whose fault is it other than the child. It's just a really, really well done, very powerful story. I will tell you, it is a very heavy drama. This is a very somber 4 hours of television. There will be no point where you're ever feeling happiness. But it has a really solid story, and it's the whole shooting every episode in one continuous take is really, really fantastic. That was a really cool aspect to this. This is definitely one of the better Netflix shows that I have seen recently. And it's a mini-series, so they can't cancel it. Huh? There's a plus. Netflix, huh? Canceling everything. Anyway, yeah, it's called Adolescence. It actually just premiered today on March 13th when I'm filming this. So yeah, check it out. I think it's really, 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 really good. Netflix, what the is wrong with you, you show canceling mother? Are you just allergic to good television all of a sudden? Anyway, I watched this show, Archive 81, on Netflix, that was canceled after just one season. You know, just like they did with another really good show called 1899. You know, both shows that end on cliffhangers. Plain as day, telling you, we need a season 2. But Netflix says, nah, they don't need closure. They can all go themselves. Anyway, what's Archive 81 about? Well, apparently it's a spin-off or based on a podcast. It follows this fella here. His name is Dan. He is tasked with a very secret task. He is brought to this bunker to restore these totally damaged videotapes. And so he is supposed to restore them and then digitize them for a mysterious man. What he's watching is the footage from this character here. Her story takes place in 1994 in New York City, and he is in present day. But there are hours and hours and hours and hours of footage that she took because she was trying to, well, she said she was doing some school project on this apartment building, but the actuality is that she was searching for her birth mother. Anyway, eventually it becomes a very trippy show because the lines between present day and 1994 become blurred. Each character starts having these like visions or dreams of one another, even though they're like decades apart. And there's a cult, of course. There's a cult involved in this apartment building. And there's sacrifices and stuff, you know, cult stuff. And I guess, well, spoiler alert, okay. You've been warned, so. Basically there's a kind of form of time travel-ish. Well, a portal is opened to like this other world, and then you can cross over into, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. It kind of confused the shit out of me towards the end. But it was still a good show. Like, this was an excellent show. Really well made. It's kind of like a mix of, like, regular film stuff, but also with, like, found footage. Because a lot of the footage we're seeing is through her camcorder, so, you know, it's all grainy and, you know. But it cuts back and forth between the found footage and her actual, like, you know, watching her actually film it. And then it goes to him, you know, looking at this footage, and it's bizarre, okay? It's bizarre. It's got very creepy undertones to it the entire time. There's this, like, hum song that keeps playing, this or so, I can't even do it. But it's just disturbing. Like, it's just a little disturbing, a little creepy, a little unnerving, you know? It's hard to explain. But it's a really well-made show. But, of course, Netflix canceled it when it ends with a bombshell of a cliffhanger. And we'll never know. Shame on you, Netflix. Shame the on you. Anyway, if you like watching shows where you're going to get no closure in the end, might I suggest anything on Netflix? Don't get too attached, because they're just going to take that show right away from you. Thanks a lot, Netflix. You know what's a completely underappreciated and relatively unknown found footage horror movies? Bad Ben. Tom Riley thought this home was a great deal. It turns out it was a nightmare. So it's basically a movie that follows this guy around. He just purchases this home with the intent of flipping it. And he finds out that the previous owners had installed a whole shit ton of cameras everywhere. Hence the found footage portion of the movie. And he starts to, you know, experience a couple of very, you know, bizarre things moving on their own. He thinks it's a burglar who had entered the home. Then he begins to realize that he's being haunted by someone. And then he finds out that there was a murder that took place in the house. But the thing about this movie is that it's not like a totally scary movie. The main guy who plays Tom Riley, first of all, this is his actual home. Like, this is his home. He filmed it. He's the only person in the entire movie. No one else is. And it's a really beautiful house. But he is such a likable dude. He has like this kind of New Jersey accent, kinda. He's just sort of like a no-nonsense guy. Whenever he sees things, he's like, hey, like a ghost doing something, he's like, hey, stop it. It's, you know, it's nice to not see he's not your prototypical found footage horror movie, you know, hero. He's just a middle-aged, chubby, bald guy named Tom. And he's just so damn lovable. And he makes this entire movie so good. So if you've never seen it, I know, I think it's on one of those free things. If you search it on Prime, it should like say, oh, it's free on, I think I saw it on the Roku channel. But I don't know, I think that's a really delightful movie. Again, it's called Bad Ben. It's a found footage horror movie. It's like a light horror, almost borderline sort of kind of dark comedy. Not to be confused with the 9 sequels Yeah, there was a sequel called Steelmanville Road, Badder Ben, Bad Ben the Mandela Effect, The Crescent Moon Clown, Bad Ben the Way In, Bad Ben 7 The Haunted Highway, Bad Ben's Night Before Christmas, Bad Ben Pandemic, Bad Ben Benign. I had no idea that there was any more than 2. I've seen Steelmanville Road, and it is a humongous drop-off from the first movie. It is so bad. And so is Badder Ben. I've seen that one too. But yeah, if you can find it, check it out. It's worth it. It's not, obvious on a phenomenal movie. It's just fun. Hey, did you guys... Holy sh... That's the stuff made of nightmares? Okay. Well... Hey, is it true that Beavis and Butthead were based on real-life teenagers from Mike Judge's past? Beavis and Butthead, if you didn't know, if you're insane. Allegedly based on these 2 teenagers, but is this who it was based on, or is this just 2 kids who are cosplaying as Beavis and Butthead? Because I think they might be more Beavis and Butthead than Beavis and Butthead. And... 1, 2, 3, 4... 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Is there someone over here? Is there someone behind the... Hello? Huh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 2 people. Okay. Well, is this AI? Or is this real? And if it's real, what's going on here? What's happening in this household? Oh, shit. What the... Okay, well, childhood ruined. Oh, hello, gorgeous. So that gentleman is a character from a movie I just watched called Bloody Axe Wound. You can watch this through Shudder if you have Prime Video. It came out just a few months ago. It's an hour and 23 minutes long. It's described as a horror movie. Abby Bladecut is a teenager torn between the macabre traditions of her family's bloody trade and the tender stirrings of her first crush. In the small town of Clover Falls, Abby's father, Roger Bladecut, has built an infamous legacy by capturing real-life killings on tape and selling them to eager customers. But as Abby delves deeper into the grisly family business, she begins to wonder if it's time to take the family tradition in a new direction. So this is Papa, serial killer, played by Billy Burke. You might remember him as Mustache Dad from the Twilight movies. So yeah, he runs this video store, and he is also a serial killer, but he's also apparently involved with other serial killers. And this is his daughter, who desperately wants to take over in his footsteps. She wants to become the next family serial killer. And so what the movie is, well, trying to be, I think, is a horror comedy. I never laughed, but that's just me. But basically, she becomes involved, and it's now her time to start committing these murders. But then she grows attached to her would-be victims, and now she wants to prevent it from happening. She falls in love with her main, final girl victim. Like, this whole concept really could work very, very well. And normally, I am not the type of person who's always like, oh, that's not believable, that can't happen in real life, because movies are meant to be movies. However, sometimes when I'm watching a movie and they have their own established logic, like, I didn't understand this movie's own established logic. So all of the VHS tapes and movies, these horror movies that the guy rents in his video store, are videos or turned into movies of these actual serial killers. But my question is who's filming them? They never show you or elaborate at all on who's filming these movies and how they're being cut into like actual movies and then being rented out to people. The other thing is that all of these murders seem to be happening in this one portion of this, this little area. But no one else in the movie seems to acknowledge that there's a whole bunch of gruesome murders and that who the hell's behind it. Yeah, they talk about these murders, but it's always in passing. Like, oh yeah, my friends got murdered last year. But no one seems to be investigating it. No one seems to be putting these pieces together. And this movie rental who are renting out these movies, like the people who are being killed in these movies are supposed to be the actual victims. Like these are like snuff films almost. But like how is no one in town recognizing that the people being killed in these videos are their loved ones who have been killed over the years in this town? Like I know you're not supposed to overthink these things, and maybe I shouldn't have, but I don't know, for some reason all of that, like it just took it all out for me. I thought the acting was really fantastic. The main girl is really wonderful. Billy Burke, who's unrecognizable, obviously, he's really good. The concept is awesome. I love the idea. And the movie itself, if you really kind of, if you pull yourself away from like the things I mentioned earlier, it's actually not that bad of a movie. It's just so confusing because this could have been done so freaking well. I just don't think they did it with this one. Like I didn't hate this movie. I thought it was entertaining. I just didn't think it was good. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Like I said, it's on Prime Video if you have the Shudder add-on. I don't know. I mean, you might like it. It was entertaining. It just wasn't... Anyway, if you've seen it, what do you think? If I were to choose a movie that should never have gotten a remake or a reboot, I would probably say, I don't know, just spitballing here, the 2002 movie Cabin Fever. It doesn't need a remake. Oh, god damn it. The world is such an unnecessary place. We live in a fucking time where Cabin Fever got a reboot. Don't fucking look at me that way, you bleeding eye lady fucking bitch. Anyway. Hey, Travis Zarwin. Hey, you suck. Hey, do you guys need a good movie to throw up to? Are you looking to vomit out all 3 meals you've had today? Depending when you see this video. But look no further than any version of Cabin Fever. Movies about a flesh-eating virus. Where people are peeling their skin off of their bodies. The first movie was unnecessary. It should have gotten an abortion. You know what? I think it did. And this was the end result. 2016 reboot. Hey Travis Z, fuck you. Oh, this movie's so fucking gross. Let's fuse with a celebrity, shall we? Who are we gonna come up with? Naomi Watts. I haven't seen her in forever. Oh my god. I'm gorgeous! Lee Ugly. Let's try again. Alright. Second time. Second fuse. Bruno Mars. No. Third time's the charm? Catherine Zeta-Jones. Oh my god. I haven't seen her in forever either. Oh. I look like I just smelled a bad fart, but I don't want to say anything about it. Ugh. Okay. Fourth time's the charm. That's the saying, I think. Is that the actual saying? So. Oh, Lupita! I love Lupita! Oops. Okay. Okay. Well. Jeff Bezos? I'm gonna be bald, aren't I? Oh, what's wrong with my eyes? What's wrong with all of it? Oh, okay. I'm gonna be sick. Who? Oh. Who is that, by the way? I don't even know who that is. Maluma? Sounds like a disease. Oh, I got Maluma. Oh shit, Jessica Alba. Ah! No, Jesus Christ, no. Oh, this is just fucking awful. I'm not destined to be a celebrity. Kesha. Oh, Ken, no. Bye. Curse of Aurore. Aurore. No. So this movie is an hour and 30 minutes long. It came out back in 2020. Terror strikes when 3 American filmmakers traveled to Quebec to research the story of a murdered girl. Very, very minimal reviews, but positive ones. So it starts off with this guy, Casey Nolan, who I guess is a real YouTuber. I'd never heard of him before, but he, finds these like rare things, and on this one of these rare things, this doll he found around its neck was a little a thumb drive thing, and he goes, "All right, let's plug it in and see what's on it." And then it turns out to be like a found footage movie. So it's actually centered around a very real true crime story from many years ago. The brutal murder of Aurore Gagnon. Sorry if I said that wrong, it's French, I know. She was a 10-year-old girl who was tortured and eventually killed by her parents. I don't think I've covered her case on my true crime page, Making a True Crimerer, shameless plug alert, here on TikTok and on YouTube. Subscribe, please, thanks. But yeah, they take this and they're like, all right, the found footage thing is, are these people who want to make a horror movie based around this case. And in typical found footage type fashion, you have one person who is way overzealous about this project, who will do anything to make this project go forward, and eventually that determination ends up being the downfall of everyone. We've seen that same thing done a billion times. But, it's a decent movie as a whole, but I wouldn't really necessarily call this a horror movie. I mean, it's only an hour and 30 minutes long. Most of the movie is really just these three people going around town, occasionally talking to people, and then arguing amongst themselves. There really isn't a lot of scariness that occurs for the first, hour and 10 minutes of the movie. And yeah, you have these occasional, oh, look at that in the background, I think I saw something kind of things. And then the last, 15, 20 minutes or so is when stuff starts actually happening. And honestly, it's really the last 10 minutes. It was a very slow build-up to a payoff that wasn't really anything special or scary. But I also wanted to say that this is, as a movie, it's a fairly well-made movie for being a low-budget type movie that no one's ever really heard of before. The actors in the movie were good. It had an interesting premise, centering it around an actual true story. Having this individual here as the framework for why this movie is being shown to us, I like that aspect. As a horror movie, it just took way too long to get to the horror part. So I'm really torn on this one, because it's well made. It just wasn't scary. Could have added more spookiness throughout the movie, and maybe cut out some of the bickering and the fighting these people do. I don't know, it was almost there. They were this close. I would give it a 5 out of 10. It's meh, but it's not awful. I watched it on Prime Video. I'm pretty sure it was free. I didn't pay for this. Death of a vlogger? Oh, that's not me. No, I'm good. I'm not a vlogger. Okay, this is a movie. Found footage horror movie. Yeah, I know. Shocker. I never watched those. Prime Video was like, hey, you should watch this. It recommended it to me on my little feed. So I said, okay. It came out in 2019. It's an hour and 29 minutes long, described as a horror movie. An ambitious vlogger experiences the dark side of the internet when his latest video, which features an alleged haunting, goes viral. And this is the star of the movie. His name is Graham. And I'm not going to lie to you, at first glance, I thought he was that chapter. I thought he was Mike from that chapter. They even sound kind of similar. It's not him. But yeah, basically, the character has a video that goes viral because there's some creepy shit that happens in it. And I don't know if I would really call this a horror movie, per se. To me, it was kind of more of a commentary on social media personalities. In a way, it's kind of like if they took the Boy Who Cried Wolf and turned it into a found footage horror movie. But it definitely touches on what happens to social media people when they're caught lying about something or whatever the case may be, and how the internet will drag them and turn against them. But then shit starts happening again, and then you're as the audience, you're well, fuck, is this real? Is this authentic? I thought it was different. As someone who has a few million followers over on my other TikTok page, I still consider myself an absolute nobody. But this sort of touches on people, in the movie, there's a character who's well, I've got 10,000 Instagram followers and I've got 100+ thousand YouTube subscribers. And you have the personality of, well, that means I'm famous. That means I'm a big somebody. But everyone else is are you though? I've got more than the people in the movie have. And I'm still no one fucking knows who I am. But yeah, it kind of tackles the whole entitlements that social media personalities have sometimes. How shit gets to their head. But in the midst of all of that, you do have some spooky shit kind of happening in the background. But then you're is it real? Is it being faked and staged? Because nowadays, no one believes anything. anymore that they see on the internet. Even proof isn't proof anymore. Evidence isn't evidence. And so I really feel like Death of a Blogger was really more of a commentary, a social media commentary that really kind of felt pretty authentic. I thought it was actually, in that regard, it was actually a really solid, decent movie. In terms of like the horror movie aspect, it's okay. It's not scary, like, remotely. To me, at least, and everyone's different. I just appreciated this more as a commentary type movie. But it, the genre mixing I thought it worked well. It's free on Prime Video, if you have it. I would recommend it. It's not amazing, but it's a decent watch. Out of a possible 2.9 million followers. Shut up, Mike. I give this 1.4 million downvotes, or upvotes, or downvotes, or upvotes are better. Thumbs ups. Okay. What's one of the most underrated sci-fi movies, in your opinion? I'll go first. For me, it's the movie District 9 from 2009. And if you didn't know, District 9 was actually nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. It lost that year to The Hurt Locker, a phenomenal movie. But it was also nominated alongside another sci-fi movie, Avatar, as well as my personal favorite, Inglourious Basterds. It was a good year. The story of the movie follows is basically about, I think it was like 30 some odd years before the events of the story takes place. A gigantic alien spacecraft comes to Earth and just starts hovering above Johannesburg in South Africa. And once the military there goes up to the ship, they find that there are thousands upon thousands of aliens inside the ship. They appear to be malnourished. They appear to be on the brink of death. And so what happens is they create this sort of like camp down in Johannesburg for the aliens to reside. And they call this area District 9. Houses like millions of these aliens because they do have, babies. But then there is this sort of rift between the aliens and the humans, and it causes a lot of problems. And so the premise of the movie is that the main character here, he is leading a group to inform all of these aliens that they are being evicted from District 9 and moved to a completely different area. And then chaos kind of ensues. District 9 is essentially a social commentary film on racism, prejudice, how we treat others. And obviously, because it happens in South Africa, there are some pretty obvious connections to like apartheid. And I would say that it has a lot of current relevance to the United States as we speak here in 2025, with regards to stuff like immigration, mass deportation, the unfounded hatred certain people have for other certain people. This movie really kind of just hits it straight on the head. And it's a wonderful story. It's really, really well told. But it's also, at its core, a sci-fi movie about aliens. And it's different because it's, usually you have, when there's aliens in a movie, they usually are the bad guy. But here, the aliens are essentially the victim. We, as humans, are the bad guy. Obviously, of course. And the main character, played by Sharlto Copley, he becomes infected with some sort of alien substance where he is slowly transforming into one of these aliens. Now, the other thing is that the government there in South Africa is essentially trying to figure out a way to steal the aliens' technology and to be able to use it. They operate on these aliens. They will kill them with no hesitation, even if they're doing nothing wrong. And he's a very... I never know how to process this character because he is part of that government who is essentially acting like a fucking piece of dick towards these aliens, laughing as, he's going around evicting them. But by the end, and it's only because he becomes infected with this alien blood or whatever it is, oil, liquid, is when he kind of slowly begins to realize, maybe I'm an asshole. But he's never, truly the hero of the story. I would say he's more of, an anti-hero. He kind of tries to help only because it'll help himself. Which is, again, it's very current. It's fitting. And in the end, he kind of does the right thing. But he also never needed to get to that point. Because he was sort of acting very selfishly with his plans to help this, in particular, this one particular alien. At any rate, it's such a well-told story. It's visually very pleasing. It's fast-paced, it's different, it's original. It was obviously extremely popular with critics and fans alike. Like I said, it was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. It tells a relevant story, but it also serves as just a really fantastic alien sci-fi movie, and it does have some pretty cool action sequences. I think you can only really watch this on Amazon Prime if you've never seen it. I rented it to watch it again the other night for like $3, but it is extremely worth that $3 or $4 to rent it, or $15 or so to buy it. So yeah, if you've never seen District 9, you are missing out. You should definitely see this movie. I do hear there is a sequel planned called District 10, but it doesn't sound like that's really in production at this point. So anyway, check it out. Listen, I don't want to brag, but I've got egg money. I clucked around and found out that egg prices are very high. But don't worry, I've got Eggcelent credit. So if you're looking for a good lay, cluck no further. We need to relax about these egg prices. Let's meditate. I've got the money to help you come out of your shell. I am what you would call a financial expert. So I think together, the both of us could have a shell of a time. I do love someone with a good sense of humor, so hopefully you can crack me up. But you are going to have to come to me. I don't really like leaving the house because, well, I'm what you would call an agoraphobic. And it's even better if you can make me laugh by cracking a few yolks. And once you're done, you can't leave through the entrance. You're going to have to leave through the exit. I should warn you that I have a hard time sleeping due to my restless egg syndrome. It can be pretty exhausting. So please, stop ignoring me, okay? I'm letting this one slide for now. I'm willing to whisk it if you are. Anyway. This egg is from another planet. It's an extraterrestrial. Elevate good times. Actually, it's not a very good time. If you go below 8,000 feet, you will die. You will die. Anyway, here's a new movie called Elevation. You can check this out on HBO or Max if you have it. Okay, so it's rated R, released on November 8th, 2024. It's an hour and 30 minutes long. Set in the post-apocalyptic Rocky Mountains, a single father and two women venture from the safety of their homes to face monstrous creatures to save the life of a young boy. And as you can see, pretty negative reviews from critics, but the fans seem to like it. It stars the ever-so-talented Anthony Mackie, who I'm still sore was not nominated for an Oscar for his performance in The Hurt Locker all those years ago. That's messed up. Anyway. So basically, in this post-apocalyptic type scenario, if you go below 8,000 feet of elevation, these monster creature things will come after you, and they'll rip you to pieces or kill you or something. And then her character, Morena Baccarin, I'm not sure if I said that right. She's hell-bent on finding some way to actually kill these creatures because for the 3 years this has been going on, they seem to be invincible. You can't kill them. But he's going on this mission just to get the stuff he needs to save his son. Here's the thing. It's okay, I guess. This movie didn't really have any meat to it, you know? It didn't have like any oomph. It kind of just throws you into the middle of this apocalyptic situation. You know, we don't see day one, we don't see anything like that, which you don't need to, of course, but they just don't really go much into it. I don't know, I'm having a hard time describing it because it doesn't have any, there's like no, its story just isn't very compelling or doesn't offer much. I don't know if I'm describing that in a correct way or not, but it's just sort of like a movie. It's just like, here's these characters facing this threat. Will they survive? Who knows? Do we care? It's just a run-of-the-mill monster sci-fi movie. I mean, like, I never found myself even caring about what the monsters were at a point. I'm just like, whatever, just... Sure, okay, they're here, let's get away from them. And this isn't one of those things where, like, they have to stay quiet or they can't move and the things will see them or won't see them. Because when they go below 8,000 feet, they're just, like, talking and screaming like normal. So it's just a matter of, will the monster see you or not? And for whatever reason, they can't go above 8,000 feet, the creatures. They don't really ever explain why, even though the movie is named Elevation. Like, I didn't hate this movie. I didn't like it. I wasn't super entertained by it. I don't know. It was a very average, generic sci-fi monster movie with really no heart and soul, no meat into the story. It just kind of is there. You know what I mean? Not bad, not good, just meh. So, that's my take. Sorry. Okay, let's do this. Failed. Do I not have a face or what? Okay, round 2. Oh God, no. I didn't like that. Let's try again. Come on now. I look like Chunk from the Goonies. Don't hate me 'cause you ain't me. Oh, everybody hates this face. Okay, we're doing this one more time. Okay, it just hates my face at this point. I understand. Oh, this bitch again. God damn it. Life isn't perfect, but my outfit always is. I'd look like Punky Brewster threw up on me. Okay, I can... Oh my God. Jesus. That looks like the last known photograph of a person. This is... Have you seen this person? That's what that looks like. Oh, I guess the caption's actually fitting. I see you're checking me out one last time because I'm dead. If I'm this... this person is dead. Well, that was a failure. Okay. Don't fucking press my nose. Outside of Jaws, what's one of the best shark movies ever made? I'll go first. Okay. My answer, Ouija Shark. Obviously. Just kidding. I am a big lover of Deep Blue Sea. Absolutely love this movie. You've got underwater research facility. You've got super smart, intelligent scientists doing Alzheimer's research, trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's using sharks. They genetically alter these sharks so that they're like super smart. And then a horrible thing happens where they get loose and they destroy the whole place. Because that's how smart the sharks are. They know how to attack the underwater thing to make everything flood. And it's got Samuel L. Jackson, okay? Until it doesn't. You know? It's fun, it's fast-paced, it's got great action, it's got some scares, it's got cleavage. Shark cleavage, of course, is what I'm talking about. It's got LL Cool J. It's just big fun. Now, my honorable mention, of course, Ouija Shark. We're gonna need a bigger board, oh my God. This is one of the dumbest things your eyes will ever witness. This lady here, she finds on the beach this piece of wood that's got the etchings to make it look like... I guess they couldn't afford a real Ouija board for the movie. Maybe they couldn't get the rights to it. I don't know. So they made their own. And this one in particular, it summons shark ghosts. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is an actual... This is actual. It's a see-through ghost shark guy who makes his victims, or her victims, I don't know, just poofed. I don't, because he can't eat them, because he's not even real, he's a ghost. Where do they go? I don't know. But he goes, rawr, and then they're just gone, okay? No blood, no gore, nothing, just poof. And that's what I like in shark movies, right? That's what I look for. No blood, no gore, just ghost sharks. Sharks that can, he flies, by the way. He's never actually in the water. He's actually always above water, floating around, flying around, just eating people. Or vanishing people. I don't know. I still don't get it. It's got teeth and everything, but you can't even use the teeth to chomp on people because it would just go like it would go right through them without even like, you know, Ouija shark. Well, now look at that. They're using the thing in the poster. They're using like a more legit Ouija board. Maybe because it's animated or something. I don't know. Maybe they could afford that. And this is misleading. This right here, this image of a shark, very misleading. The lighthouse never appears. So, if you watch one shark movie outside of Jaws, might I recommend Ouija Shark, a tour de force. If tour de force translated to steaming pile of donkey shit. You can watch this through riff tracks so that you can at least laugh through it. That's how I saw it. Anyway, what's your favorite shark movie outside of Jaws?
If you've been fishing for a craft idea,
boy,
have come along because I have the perfect catch.
Okay.
I'm going to take this fish and actually make these prints that you see on these towels over here. And are they fun? I mean, if you've wanted to have a perfect fish, you just go to the store and buy one.
Sure.
You put the paints on it, make your print. You then can clean the fish off and take it out on the grill. So you've got to fish to go along with your beach towels by the pool or out on the beach. Okay, we'll come back over this side with some more. Kind of mix that in so they mix together. That makes it a lot more fun. Kind of a red and a pink. I want the fish's head to be here, so we'll put that right in the middle.
Oh, shit.
Just lay that down, and then you begin pressing that. Well, I guess the time has come to open
so
up
excited.
and see how we're doing.
Oh.
It turned out just great.
It looks
you can
like
see
shit.
the eyes. There we go.
Right.
You're all set with a beach towel. Go ahead and wash this off.
Something's
Take
fishy
it out
about
and put it on
this.
the grill, and I'll tell you, you've got a wonderful project that is really unique.
You want us to eat the fish after
by the way,
we
you can
paint
also
it?
put this on a T-shirt. Have fun with your.
So, listen, please do not judge us from the 80s and 90s for our arts and crafts that we did. We didn't have the internet yet. So, we went to the store and bought fish and painted them and turned them into t-shirts. And then we ate the fish that we painted. I don't know what the fuck this was supposed to be. I saw this on Only 90s Kids Know on Instagram. I had never seen them before, but they posted this video. I'm a 90s kid, so I just don't remember this particular arts and craft. When we were bored in the 90s, this is what we did. We would like take apart things in our house, turn them into art projects. We made turkeys out of our handprints. It was a simpler time. A dumber time, but a simpler time. You know what? She's having fun. You do you. So, listen. This is dumb. This is dumb. This is the stupidest thing my eyes and ears have ever bore witness to. I wish I could invent time travel to go back in time and nut punch whoever was responsible for birthing this into existence. It's not me, it's you. This should have been an abortion. Heart Eyes is a new slasher horror film you can watch on Prime Video now. It's rated R, came out literally just this year. It's an hour and 37 minutes long. I like how Rotten Tomatoes describes it as a holiday movie. For the past several years, the Heart Eyes killer has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. This Valentine's Day, no couple is safe. Yeah, it's a slasher movie based around Valentine's Day. But here's what kind of makes this movie a little unique that sort of sets itself apart from other slashers, is that it's also kind of like a genre blending movie. Like you have like what feels like a legitimate romantic comedy sort of in this, and then it steers into the slasher part. And it is kind of a comedy too at times. I chuckled a few times. So here's the thing. Every single one of us has like our top 10 favorite movies of all time, right? And usually those movies are something that we genuinely feel are like really phenomenal movies. But then I think we also, maybe this is just me, but okay, so me, I also have like a second, category of like, these are the movies that may not be my most favorite beloved movies of all time, but I am highly entertained by these movies. And that's for me where slasher movies kind of fall into. Like, I'll never put a slasher movie in my top 10 favorite movies of all time list, but I would put it a lot of them in my most entertaining movies list. And that's what Heart Eyes was. It was entertaining. Like, this was a really a fun, fast-paced movie. It was silly. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, this was just, like, silly in the most entertaining way possible. And I'm not going to spoil, like, I'm not going to spoil who the killer is or anything like that, but just in case, potential spoiler alert, okay? What I do appreciate about this movie, and I've seen a couple of these slashers do this recently, where the killer is not really tied to anyone in the movie, in the sense of, like, this isn't like some sort of retaliation, spree killing thing like you see in all the Scream movies. Like, they always have a motive in those movies directed directly at our main cast. But in this movie, it's not that, like, at all. This is just a killer. They're just a killer. That's it. And that actually kind of makes it a little more frightening because that's more realistic. Because that's genuinely what a serial killer is. And to even add more onto that, this particular killer isn't just killing in one community, they're killing all over the country. But it's got, a likable lead character. Actually, likable two lead characters. One of the lead guy is actually in another. It's in the more recent Scream movies. I think he plays, what's his name, Chad Meeks in those movies, right? Yeah, I think he plays Chad Meeks. I could probably look it up, but I'm lazy. But he's in this as well, and he's delightful. They're both delightful. So yeah, I mean, if you ever come across it and wanted to, like, watch it, I would definitely recommend this, especially if you are a slasher film fan. Out of 10 beating hearts, I give this 7 stab you through the hearts and blood gushes out of your nose and nostrils and throat and ears and pee hole. This is. Okay. Someone recommended this movie, Hellfest, to me in the comment section of another review I did. And so I watched it. It's called Hellfest. So it's rated R. It came out in 2018. It's about an hour and a half long. And it's described on Rotten Tomatoes as a holiday movie, which is hilarious. On Halloween night, 3 young women and their respective boyfriends head to Hellfest, a ghoulish traveling carnival that features a labyrinth of rides, games, and mazes. They soon face a bloody night of terror when a masked serial killer turns the horror theme park into his own personal playground. This used to be my playground. No. It wasn't so well received by critics and moviegoers, but you know what? I actually kind of like this movie. Like, it's not the best slasher I've ever seen. It's not, a phenomenal movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I just enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. It actually has some fairly likable characters, and it is I think the person who recommended this to me, they did so because I reviewed Heart Eyes, and I said I liked how the killer was, there was, like, no motive for the killer to go after these specific people. I like, slashers like that, and that's what this was. Like, you don't know the killer's motive. They're not picking these people because they've done something wrong to the killer. This is just another psychopath killer at some, Fear Farm Halloween Fest type thing, going around killing people in a mask. And you know what? It's just entertaining. I thought it was a fun movie. Again, it's not a great movie. It's just, as slashers go, it's decent. It wasn't, like, laughable, like a lot of horror movies are these days. It wasn't really cringy or anything. It's not funny for all the wrong reasons. I watched it on Amazon. I rented it for like $3, I think. Maybe less, I can't remember. But yeah, it's a good time passer, You need to kill an hour and a half of time, just whatever. This is it. Hellfest. I liked it. Don't judge me, okay? What's one of your favorite opening scenes of a horror movie? I'll go first. So mine comes from a movie that I, just in my own personal opinion, think is one of the worst horror movies ever. Ghost Ship. Came out in like 2002 or so, and it starred Juliana Margulies from ER. Carl Urban was in it. Basically, it's about this salvage crew who comes across this floating, cruise liner that they soon realize is a missing cruise liner from like the 60s. They board it, and there's like no one on board, and then it doesn't work for me. But the opening scene, in my opinion, is very iconic. So it basically starts with like these fancy like credits, makes it look like an old-timey movie. And it basically is the captain's ball on a cruise ship when all of a sudden someone sabotages something and this big-ass steel wire, slices through a whole bunch of people. Like slices them right in half. You start to see everyone's bodies go like this. And then, like, you know, it was just such a cool visual. Like, I mean, it's gross, but it was just so like, whoa, holy fuck. Could someone explain something to me, though? Okay, so did I miss something? Because while everyone else got sliced in half, like, at the waist, the captain of the ship was dancing with a little girl. How come he was cut in his why? How did it? I don't understand. Was he kneeling down? I can't remember why his face was cut in half. Not why wasn't he cut in half at the waist? Why, Mike? What are you doing? It's a fucking horror movie about ghosts. A ghost ship. Mike, stop it. Anyway, it's just a very cool scene. Unfortunately, they didn't keep up the momentum with this one, but the opening scene to this one is one of my absolute favorites. Another one I would say is the opening of Jeepers Creepers, and then it just turned into a really stupid movie. But anyway, that might be an unpopular opinion, I apologize. Anyway, what's yours? Let's read another DM, shall we? Hello, hi! The Illuminati is a secret society that strives to promote spiritual and moral values. Sure. It was founded under principles of love, justice, unity, peace, and relief. The Illuminati bring together individuals of goodwill, irrespective of their differences and backgrounds, and ensure that these good humans become better in the society. Do you wish to be a member of the Illuminati and become rich, famous, powerful, and excel in life? Kindly reply, yes! Did Donald Trump send this with the shouty cap at the end? Okay. I don't know. Does it require a uniform? Because I really can't afford, like, new outfits right now. Will I be required to provide a vial of my own blood, or can it be somebody else's blood, perhaps, that I provide? Are sacrifices involved? Because I have a couple people in mind. Will I have to follow any kind of, like, treasure maps to some secret location where there's a chest of gold? I am really bad at reading maps, so hopefully you guys have, like, a Google Maps or Apple Maps version of a treasure map. Because I need that little Irishman to tell me, like, where to turn and all that. Is Nicolas Cage involved? Because that's a deal breaker. And I won't say, you know, which side of that deal breaker. But if John Travolta's part of it, you're going to have to count me out. Is this where Nick Nolte has been the entire time? Or Gary Busey? Aren't those the same person? No. Maybe? They might be. Illuminati. Do I have to move into the secret Illuminati base that's probably underground somewhere in a cave? I don't do well with caves. You know, it's claustrophobic, it's damp, it's just, ugh, not for me, you know what I mean? Question, as an Illuminati member, will we be able to elect a president by doing voodoo or whatever the shit it is you guys do? I don't know. Because I have some ideas. Anyway, so I guess the answer is get back to me, and we'll go from there, you know? But if at any point I'm required to put peanut butter all over my body, I'm out. You know, today I feel invincible. Okay. Anyway, I was saying that today I feel Okay, I'm not sure what's going on, but it keeps interrupting. I didn't even see the fucking word. What? It interrupts you whenever you try to say that word, you know. Can't read lips. Okay. Let's try it again. Today I feel invincible, motherfucker. What? Who the Okay. Well. Invincible? Son of a bitch. We get it. We get it. What are you, a movie called Invincible? Son of a fucking titballs. Fuck you, Robert Kirkman, and your invincible motherfucking shit tits. Corey Walker and Ryan Otley, go fuck. Oh, hello. Hi. This is embarrassing. I didn't even say the word, you piece of shit. Invincible. Well, how come it's red now? Why did it change to red? Okay. You know what? I wasn't even close to saying the word at this point. Now you're just coming on whenever you want to. Invincible. The lost footage of Leah Sullivan. Oh. Found it. It's on Amazon. It's on Prime Video. That's where it is. So it's not really lost anymore. All right, Mike, give it a rest. Hey, shocker, I know I never talk about these, but this is a found footage movie. Huh? Well, it's lost footage, but it's found. It's found lost footage. So it's not really lost anymore. So there should be scratched out lost, Sharpie, the word found footage of Leah Sullivan. Okay. An unedited memory card from a camera shows Leah Sullivan's school project about a cold case murder that doesn't seem to be so cold after all. Basically, a family of 4 is brutally slaughtered inside of their home, and it's been a mystery for like decades. And so she wants to see if she can find out the truth, or at least get some information about it and turn it into a school project. So here's the thing about this one. What I do appreciate about it is that you actually have the solid reason as to why this particular character is actually continuing to film this. Because usually in found footage movies, you have to kind of explain, okay, why are we seeing all this footage? Why are they filming all the time? In this instance, she's filming a documentary, so she's filming it basically as she's going, and we don't see footage of her just wandering around aimlessly and talking to herself because no one else is there, just for the sake of the audience to hear someone talking in a found footage movie. And you have these scenes where it's clearly she's trying to set up a shot, for her documentary. So it definitely feels more authentic. It feels more real. Everything surrounding the found footage aspect it just feels genuine. The performances in this movie, for the most part, are actually pretty decent. But where it gets kind of lost on me is it's very slow pacing. In terms of like the storyline, it doesn't really do a whole lot that's all that different or unique. Clearly, you could tell they're going the route of, well, this is not just about a murder. This is obviously about some sort of haunted place, ghosts, demons, etc. And then you also have the trope of found footage lead characters where they are always painted as maybe in over their head, a little overzealous. And, these types of characters are always refusing help from people who are pig-headed, who are going to go into some place even though they've been warned not to. We've seen it 1,000 times before. By the end, they become insufferable. And that's kind of what happens here. It's not really scary per se. If you're paying attention while watching the movie, you will see a couple things here in the background like, oh shit, what was that? I actually got jump scared one time, and it wasn't even like a loud noise. It was just like an image of something that caught me off guard. And then the final act of the movie, it goes into your typical found footage final act. All the shit starts to go crazy. But the thing about this one is that entire final scene, like 90% of it was literally pitch black. And the characters had flashlights. So there was no reason for it to be pitch black. It was solid black screen. You hear voices, but you do not see a fucking thing that's going on. And the occasional flashlight going, like they don't know how to use flashlights apparently. You don't really even know what happens at the end. You have an idea, but it's like, okay. Wait, so, what was this about? Anyone? And I suppose that's kind of a credit to this particular, version of found footage. She didn't get to finish her story. That's why it's lost footage, because apparently, she's missing. So that kind of sudden end where there's no resolution, I guess that's realistic. I don't know. I'm very torn on this. Like, I had never heard of this movie. Again, it popped up on my Prime Video feed. I rented it for $3. It's like, why not? And like I said at the beginning, I appreciated this for it formatted itself in a realistic way, in a believable way, in a different way than we're used to with found footage. But then it kind of got bogged down by all the typical found footage nonsense we see every time. And by the end, it didn't offer anything new, different, unique. And the story was just, more of the same. So, I don't know. Like, I didn't dislike it. I wouldn't say I loved it. I had a it was okay, I guess, kind of feeling. I've seen better, I've seen worse. I'll forget this movie existed in... Hi! The lost footage of Leah Sullivan. I think I watched that. Why do you look like one of the gays... Why do you look like one of the gays from Modern Family? Well, I guess I look like one of the gays because I am gay. Human, gay gnome, gay Mickey, gay nutcracker, gay flag, brother. But also, hi, my name is Derek Rockroad, and I was the stand-in for Eric Stonestreet on Modern Family. Just don't ask anyone from the show Modern Family because they are under intense scrutiny, intense secrecy that I that I existed on set. So if you ask them, they're going to say, no, that guy wasn't stand-in, because they're required by law to say that. So please don't bring this up with anyone from Modern Family. But yes, I am Derek Rockroad, and I was in fact Eric Stone Street's stand-in as one of the gays on Modern Family. So good eye. What's your favorite 90s monster movie? I'll go first. And actually I have two. It's a tie. I make the rules. So for me, it's The Relic and Mimic, which both came out in, I think, the mid to late 90s. The Relic takes place at the Natural History Museum in Chicago, and it involves basically one of their employees went somewhere overseas, and he ended up delivering these like plants with these weird seeds or something, and those little something those seeds or those plants create some sort of, well, like makes the things evolve into much bigger things. This is a horrible way to explain this movie. And of course, they're having this big open gala to unveil a new exhibit at the museum, and that's the day the monster, who's already snuck in underneath in the sewers and shit, that's when they decide to attack the museum and kill a whole bunch of people. It's got Penelope Ann Miller, Tom Sizemore. It's a fun movie. It's really entertaining if you've never seen it. The other one is Mimic, starring Mira Sorvino, I think Josh Brolin, and Charles S. Dutton. So this one's also about sciencey people who do sciencey experiments that lead to big sciencey monsters. In this one, Mira Sorvino's character is trying to find a cure for a childhood disease, and in doing so, she inadvertently or accidentally creates, well, 6-foot monsters. 6-foot monster guys. They're giant cockroaches, folks. And they can fly and shit, and they just rip people's heads off and all sorts of great stuff. It's got good action. It's fast-paced. It's a really fun movie. I forgot to show the monster from The Relic. This is the monster from The Relic right here. I didn't know Lauren Boebert did movies in the 90s before she became whatever she is now today. Interesting. She probably should have stuck with this, though. She looked a lot better. Anyway, he's gross, so yeah, The Relic and Mimic, two of my favorite monster movies from the 90s. What about you guys? So I went ahead and I checked out the movie. So this commenter came from one of my videos. They had recommended a movie that they made called Mr. Sandman on Tubi. So if you have Tubi, it's free to watch. The actual movie itself, it's like a short, so it's only like 35 minutes long or so. And it's a story about a little girl who is basically told by her kind of scary grandma that you have to go to bed by a certain time or the Sandman will get you. And so then what follows is this little girl being tormented by Mr. Sandman. So obviously it's, it's a low budget type thing. It's not on any kind of like big scale. It all takes place essentially in one location. And for what it was, I thought it was pretty decent actually. I like the idea, I like the concept of this whole like Mr. Sandman thing being a villain. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Bung, 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 bung. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Bum, 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 bum. Stop it, Mike. Okay. So yeah, if you're looking for like a decent little horror short, I would say definitely check out Mr. Sandman on Tubi. It's free. I don't get scared in things like movies don't scare me at all, but I can see how there are some visuals in this movie that might scare people, especially like younger audiences. Definitely show this movie to your kids right before bed. What could go wrong? But for being low budget with relative, unknowns in it, it does a better job than I was honestly expecting. So yeah, give it a whirl, won't you? It's like 30 plus minutes long. It's not that long of a movie to watch, so. My toxic trait is sometimes going onto my computer and my cell phone, going onto Google and typing in the most off-the-wall, insane, batshit crazy shit, so that in case I ever go missing or something bad happens to me and they need to investigate my electronics, they're going to be fucking flabbergasted. They're going to be so beyond mortified and confused. I really want to make the investigation difficult. So basically, sometimes I'll go into Google and I'll type in something like, does wearing somebody else's skin over my skin cause cancer? Or maybe how to properly store the severed left breast of a person? Or can I use somebody's removed male genitalia as a flute? And does size matter in that regard? LOL. It could be something like, how to make yourself disappear while wearing no clothing? Can living gerbils eat through human bone? Can I use a bottle of Pert Plus and Dove body wash to dissolve human skin in a bathtub because that's all I have readily available? It could be something pretty complex too, like I'll type in, I was born in 1985, but I think I was the Zodiac Killer. Or maybe, I think John Wayne Gacy had some good ideas. Or just type in a simple question like, how to become a serial killer in 5 easy steps. Or maybe, can I still dismember a person even though I am terrified and disgusted by blood? How to inject Mountain Dew into a human vein while the person is sleeping. Another good one would be, how soon after getting a life insurance policy on my spouse can I murder them? Backspace, 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 if somebody murders them. Anyway, I think it livens up the investigation just in case, so.
Where they found 59 pieces of her remains scattered throughout the bedroom, kitchen, and garage, leading authorities to conclude this was a, quote, open and shut case of suicide by dismemberment.
I watched that entire video, and I was so engrossed by it that I did not look below to see who posted it. And there was a part of me that truly, honestly believed that this was a real newscast. That me, this dumbass named Mike, thought, how is this real? And then I looked below at the end and I saw it was posted by The Onion. And then I thought to myself, you know what? You thought it was real because, well, we live in today's world where the media exists, and the media is, well, the media. So there is that small little itty bitty glimmer of this could have been a real thing. Not the story itself, just that someone had reported this story. And I don't like that that's where we're at now. I don't like it. I don't like that our brains are all being turned to mush and stupid stuff. So stop it. Stop it. You. Stop it. We all have done this before growing up. LMFAO. What have we all done exactly? Excuse the shower shit out of me? Who the fuck is we? Are people shitting into are you people shitting into your hand in the shower? And tossing that shit like a fucking grenade into the toilet? Is this the thing that Nancy Mace is all up in arms about? People dropping deuces into their palms and throwing it into a toilet in the bathrooms? What? Where? Who's the source on this? Who's done this? What if you got diarrhea? Well, I guess this goes right down the drain, doesn't it? Oh God, could you imagine if Pennywise was living in that kind of drain during a diarrhea shower? No, but seriously, what the fuck? This is one of the most interesting movies I've seen in recent years. I just don't know if it's a good interesting or if it's a bad interesting. The movie is called Presence. It is technically described as a horror movie, and you can currently rent it or purchase it on Prime Video. No, this is not a paid sponsorship. It's an hour and 25 minutes long, it's rated R, and it's described as a family moves into a suburban house and becomes convinced they're not alone. And you can see it has very polarizing reviews. So I am probably going to spoil aspects of this movie, so just a heads up, if you want to see it but don't want to be spoiled, stop watching this video. So why this movie is so interesting to me is the way it is filmed is very different. Recently, I talked about that new TV show Adolescence, where every episode is filmed, allegedly, in one continuous shot and never cuts away. Well, this movie, Presence, is very similar to that concept, except it's in, like, scenes that are all one long shot. I was reading that this movie only has 33, like, hard cuts. So the majority of the movie is the camera following the characters around the house in one fell swoop without cutting away. Then it cuts and a new scene starts, and then it kind of just repeats the process. The way it looks at times is almost like a fisheye camera lens. And it's about 10 to 15 minutes into the movie when you realize what the camera actually is. And this is an aspect I really, really fucking loved. The entirety of the movie, the camera in the movie is actually the ghost. So the entire movie is seen through the literal perspective of the spirit. So it moves around the house following these characters and it looks like, they're walking or floating. There are a couple of occasions that are, to me, really, eerie, when a character or two will look directly into the eyes of this spirit, breaking the fourth wall, so to speak. I just don't think I've ever seen a movie filmed with that type of gimmick. Conceptually, it is absolutely fantastic. Does it work in this movie overall? I don't really know. This is not, in my opinion, a scary movie. There's really no scares in it. If you're looking for just a solid ghost movie with lots of jump scares and other types of scares, Presence is not going to be it. I would say this is way more of a family drama. There are about 5 characters throughout the movie, one of them being Lucy Liu. She's the matriarch of the family. All of them are dealing with their own trauma, so to speak, a very dysfunctional type family. And so I was just confused about what the tone of the movie was trying to be. Was it trying to be a horror movie? Was it trying to be some sort of heavy family drama? A mix of both? The mix didn't work to me. Like, to me, this really only could have worked as a horror movie on its own or as a family drama on its own. I kind of feel like the two concepts were sort of distracting in this particular movie. That concept of family drama mixed with horror worked really well in a movie like Hereditary, but here it just feels different. And then there's the twist ending. So in the very final scene of the movie, you finally find out who the spirit is. You see them reflected in a mirror. And that's when it becomes like, what? Because again, spoiler alert, the ghost ends up being someone who is a living character throughout the entire movie. So the implication is that this ghost time traveled in order to save another character in the movie, but they saved that character as a living person who then died to become a ghost to then be the... I understand it. I get what they were doing. I just also didn't understand it logically, which normally I don't really care about, but you threw in this completely perplexing thing right at the last second. And so when the screen cuts to black, you're like, wait, what? Well, hold up. Now I gotta figure this out. But maybe, and maybe you don't have to figure it out. Maybe you just have to kind of just say, okay, this is what happened and let's just go with it. But it did not make any sense to me. I don't know, like I really wanted to like this movie because again, conceptually, it's absolutely brilliant. Having the perspective of the ghost being the camera throughout the entirety of the movie, super different, really unique. They just didn't execute that concept all that well, in my opinion. I didn't hate this movie. I did find it to be relatively good. I just didn't know what type of movie it was. Because you go in expecting it to be a horror movie about a ghost, but you're really getting something different. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I would say, for me, I would give this like a 4.5 out of 10. But if you've seen it, let me know what you think. Jeff Probst crying on Survivor, man. It's got me messed up. That was emotional as shit. This is only for people who watch Survivor. To those who don't know, massive Survivor fan. So this here, her name is Eva. She is autistic. And up until last night's episode, she had not told anyone else in the show except for one guy who used to be in the same tribe as her, but then a tribe swap happened and now they're on different tribes. And so they had to do this big, humongous immunity challenge. And it was very obvious that she was in emotional despair over this challenge. It was definitely overstimulating her. And that alone was hard to watch because you can see the struggle, the emotional struggle. But then she ends up pulling it out and she wins. And then that's when the other guy, Joe, who's now on another tribe, notices that she's going through this emotional situation. Even though she won it for her tribe, she was screaming and she was just, she was in a bad place. And the other guy came over to her for the next few minutes and just sort of sat there and calmed her down, which then led to her opening up to everyone about, who she is and that she is autistic. And eventually that got Jeff Probst, because, he's a father, to see that kind of connection between, Joe and Eva. And then he started to break down. He started crying for the first time ever on Survivor. The show's been on for, this is its 48th season and now 25 years. It premiered in 2000. And that's the first time you've ever seen Jeff Probst get super emotional like that. All of it just broke me. But to anyone out there who is autistic, I don't personally know anyone that is, but I would say you can look at Eva here as a really, really wonderful example, a role model, maybe, that you are very strong. You definitely have what it takes to pull through. And I hope you all have someone like Joe, someone who is there to, help you come back down. It was just such an inspiring whole moment, like all of it. Anyway, it was just a really, really cool, pretty emotional moment. And Eva, she is a badass. So you go, girl. Useless but interesting facts part 2. That's 2 in German. No, it isn't. The closest living relatives of the Tyrannosaurus Rex is Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Oh, are the chicken and the ostrich. Oh, okay, that was my second guess. Crocodiles cannot stick out their tongues, but alligators can. And believe me, alligator tongue is delicious. Dragonflies have 6 legs but can't walk. Well, why the fuck do you give them legs then? Legs are for walking. If that's just what they'll do. Or that's a boot song, never mind. Camels were previously imported to Arizona in 1856 and 1857. Oh. That's why Arizona still has one of those stupid laws where you're not allowed to have a camel in your bathtub. Speaking of which, I need to get Bessie out of there. Snails sleep for periods of 13 to 15 hours. Some hibernation-like periods can last years. Oh! I was today years old when I found out that I'm a snail. A giraffe can clean its ears with its 21-inch tongue. What else? What? That's gross, Mike. It's a giraffe. Sharks are the only fish that can blink with both eyes. Ugh. That would be so just to see a shark like, motherfucker, and then just eat me. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. Interesting, the same things can be said about Trump supporters. Ravens know when someone is spying on them. Ugh, that's so Raven. The placement of a donkey's eyes in its head allows them to see all 4 feet at all times. I can't even imagine. I can't even see my own 2 feet on account of the fat. Giraffes can go longer without water than camels. Why are there so many fucking facts about giraffes? Why are they so fucking special? Hummingbirds are the only animals that can fly backward. Just like Trump is the only one that can make the country go backwards. Animals that lay eggs don't have belly buttons. Why did I almost look at my own belly button like I can lay eggs? Due to a genetic defect, cats can't taste sweet things. How do we really know that, though? Reindeer like to eat bananas. You know what? You can just fucking say words in a sentence and I'm probably just gonna believe it. Flamingos can only eat with their heads upside down. Girl, same. An average of 3.6 cans of Spam are consumed each second. Yeah, the Oval Office. Nutmeg is extremely poisonous if injected intravenously. You know the sad thing is someone had to have done that for us to know this information. Junk food can actually be addictive. What? If every Oreo ever made were lined up, it would reach the moon and back more than 5 times. Can we use it to build a bridge to the moon so we can all escape there? Because, 4 out of 5 children are able to recognize McDonald's logo by the age of 3. That explains Donald Trump. A banana is considered a berry. Bull fucking fuck shit fuck. No, it isn't. Are we just saying words? And we're just just trust me, bro. Banana's considered a berry. Right, my left tit is bigger than my right tit, actually. The largest scrambled eggs ever made weighed 6,860 pounds. Who the fuck ate? Really? That probably cost, in this economy, $46 billion to make. Because, eggs are for rich people now. Peanut butter can be turned into diamonds. Go fuck yourself. That's not true. On average, Americans eat a combined amount of 100 acres of pizza every day. That's actually just in my house. A lot of oranges are actually green. Okay. Oh, okay. And the color red is 7. I mean, let's just say things randomly. It's a fact. Captain Crunch's full name is Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch. Why does that sound gay? Dark chocolate can help lower blood pressure. Great, tell that to my cholesterol. 1/3 of calories in broccoli come from protein. Trying to trick a fat guy into eating broccoli by saying, oh, look, it's just like steak. It's not going to work. Pistachios, cashews, and almonds are closer to fruits than nuts. They are classified as drupes, which are fruits that are fleshy on the outside and contain a shell covering a seed on the inside. That sounds a lot like Donald Trump. Spam is short for spiced ham, and it will make you spice your toilet bowl. Sandwiches were created because the Earl of Sandwich, John Montague, did not want to put his cards down while gambling on a 24-hour streak to eat. Don't you have to eat sandwiches with your hand? Did he just bare face it or what? Venus is the only planet in our solar system that rotates clockwise. It's also the only one that rhymes with the word penis. Our stomachs produce a new layer of mucus every 2 weeks so they don't digest themselves. The mucus is called Elon Musk. The sun makes up for more than 99% of our solar system's mass. Ugh, you can say the same thing about my ass. A cubic inch of human bone can bear the weight of 5 standard pickup trucks? How did we test this? How did we know this? Who did we kill to get this perfectly normal information. Competitive art used to be part of the Olympic Games. I can draw a pretty good stick figure. The human brain is about 60% fat. Yeah, so is my left tit. Women blink almost twice as much as men because they can't believe the fucking shit men say to them. The tallest supported bamboo sculpture is more than 164 feet high. And you know what? Here I am, never knowing that until right now, and my life still is the same. Sad. Men hiccup more than women. That's probably because more gay men swallow. Riding a roller coaster can help you pass a small kidney stone faster. Right, by falling off the roller coaster, smashing into the concrete below, and dying instantly. A hurricane releases more energy in 10 minutes. Oh god, don't tell Donald Trump this. Than all the world's nuclear weapons. Oh my god, he's gonna try to weaponize the wind now. Didn't they say Democrats did that? And you know what? Fuck it. They pick up sharks and they turn into tornadoes, and let's nuke it. The fear of beards is called what's the fear of that word? Because women have more taste buds and can see more colors than men. Yeah, we get it. Women are better. A standard slinky contains 67 feet of metal and can be stretched to 15 feet without deforming. Yeah, same thing about my ass. Jupiter is twice as large as all the other planets combined. It also is the only planet that rhymes with Poopiter. Nuclear scientist Lonnie Johnson, who worked for NASA, invented the Super Soaker. Lonnie Johnson's a hero. Watching bad movies so that you don't have to. On today's edition, Replica by director James Nguyen. You know, the guy behind Birdemic. I need a new kidney or whatever, or I'm gonna die or something. Oh my god, I'm a big fancy doctor surgeon lady. I'll give you your kidney. Thanks, bro. Do you like my doctor room? It's so realistic looking. Whoa, you gave me a new kidney. I'm in love with you now. Hi, I'm a scary doctor guy. Chirp, 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 chirp. Thanks for healing me, bro, Safina. Now I can go back to my totally real workplace. That, might also have been a backdrop for a 1994 full-motion video PC game. I'm in love with a guy who I gave a kidney to, And even though I'm very busy right now, I will definitely go on a date with the guy. Chirp! 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 I have a bird. Hi, I'm just reminding you that I'm here too. I'm driving home now after having sexual time with my boyfriend who I gave a kidney to. Oh my god, I'm driving 5 miles an hour. There's a car coming towards me. Oh no, crash, boom, bang, boom, boom. We bumped into each other very slightly and I'm dead. No, really. I died from that. Hi, I'm a detective, and I am investigating your now dead girlfriend's car accident. Okay, I thought it was just an accident. Well, the coroner found a lot of semen in her, so... This is actually true, by the way. This happened in the movie. She was full of semen? Can you explain? Can you explain that? Whoa, bro! Chirp! Chirp, 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 chirp! Oh my god, I'm totally not the girlfriend who died in a car accident. I think you are, bro. I'm gonna follow you and stalk you to your hotel room. Stop it! That's scary, creepy. I still followed you to your hotel room and knocked on your door despite not knowing you whatsoever, even though you look like my girlfriend. She's dead. Okay, I'll do whatever you want to make myself look like her, I guess. I love you. Oh, by the way, I'm a clone. I was made in something called the Clonatron. What? That's evil stuff. Hi, I'm a totally real cloned person back here in a tube of goop. Hi, evil doctor here. I'm evil, so boom, bang, 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 boom, boom, bang. Oh my god, I've been shot. You can just make another clone of me or something though, right? You know what? No, I'm good. Oh, bing, bang, bang, boom. Oh no, I've been shot too. Now I'm dead. What was the point of this shit? The end. Okay, this is some sort of shooting. I feel like this is probably a little dangerous, but let's give it a whirl, I guess. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I willingly watch these? Why do I watch movies with very obvious claustrophobia to entertain myself? Why do I do that? I don't know. I watched this movie, though, called The Dive. Came out in 2023. It's an hour and 31 minutes long. A deep-sea diving trip at one of the world's most remote spots becomes a fight for survival for sisters Drew and May when a catastrophic landslide sends rocks tumbling into the sea. After being struck by the rockfall, May now lies 28 meters below the surface, trapped by debris and unable to move. With dangerously low levels of oxygen, it is up for Drew to fight for her sister's life. She must put her own life in jeopardy and risk paying the ultimate sacrifice, but with no help, and sight time is quickly running out. Oh god, I ran out of breath. I'm fat. Yeah, it's a pretty basic premise, right? A lot of deep, dark, murky waters and people being stuck underneath big, giant boulders. Totally in my happy place. But was the movie good or was it shit? Honestly, it's just very in the middle for me. The sister who is free and able to go back and up back and forth to the surface, gosh, she just makes a couple of just really stupid decisions. Obviously, no, she has to think on her feet. She has to think just sort of just improv this whole thing. I don't understand why she basically removes her entire outfit every time she gets out of the water, wasting time having to put it all back on to get back in to go down to her sister, to give her like a spare tank or something. I don't know, it's like little things that just frustrated the shit out of me. But I'm also not a diver, so maybe that's a thing they're supposed to do. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a movie with some pretty decent tension in it because, you know, they're on a time crunch. She only has so much air that she can use in the tank, and unfortunately at the surface so many things go wrong in terms of the sister trying to rescue her. Like everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. The one spot where they kept their spare tanks is the one spot that happens to get crushed by rocks, which is where the car keys are, so she can't get into the trunk to get the car jack to maybe try help lifting the boulder up. So let's just push the fucking car over a cliff, which honestly, kind of a smart idea, okay? Because, of course, the trunk open button in the car wasn't working. Because why would it? Then she, wastes time running to a place that she doesn't even know if people are going to be at, while her sister's got, 20 fucking minutes of air left. It's just, I don't know. I found myself more frustrated than anything. It's a decent movie. I mean, the two actresses in the movie are pretty, they're decent. They're okay, I guess. The movie does have enough, good tension in it to kind of outweigh the sometimes stupid decision making. But what would I do in that situation, Mike? Huh? What would you do, fatty? I don't know. I'd probably say, sorry, sis, you're on your own. I'm gonna go eat a cheeseburger. Because I can't go down there again. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have gotten yourself in that situation, all right? That sounds like a you problem. I do love my family, so for educational purposes, those statements were sarcasm. Anyway, The Dive is a decent movie, but it's not really all that, I don't know, super enjoyable. Because ultimately you're able to kind of predict where this is going to go, how it's going to end. And from the producers of 7500 and Stowaway, I just noticed that now. What are those? I've never even heard of those. I hate when I see this, by the way, total side rant. From the producers of, what does that even mean? I think they think people are going to go, oh my god, they produced those movies? This movie must be good. The producers they're not fucking directors, they're not in the movie. They just gave the money to produce the damn thing. That doesn't mean shit. That's a trick to convince people oh, this movie must be good. Even though they really didn't have much involvement in making the movie. Anyway, sorry, that was total... Where was I going with this? The Dive! This is a movie. I watched it. It's okay. I will never watch it again. It's not great. It's not horrible. Again, it's just another one of those very meh movies. Ironically, the fear of long words is called hippopotomonstrosesquipedaliophobia. Yeah, that was a real jump scare. Chainsaws were first invented for childbirth. What? Having been developed in Scotland in the 18th century to help aid and speed up the process of, whatever that word is, widening the pubic cartilage and removal of disease. They would chainsaw these women open? Well, I never saw that coming. Sorry. Avocados are a fruit, not a vegetable. Girl, same, I'm a fruit. The Eiffel Tower can be 15 centimeters taller during the summer due to thermal expansion. What makes you want to bet there's a bunch of men that go there during the summertime? You know what I mean? Allodoxophobia is the fear of other people's opinions. That's my opinion! Australia's wider than the moon. G'day, mates! Sorry. Mellifluous is a sound that's pleasantly smooth and musical to hear. Mellifluous. Mellifluous, brother. Mellifluous. That doesn't sound so pretty to me. The Spice Girls were originally a band called Touch. That just sounds ick. It's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland. It's considered animal abuse. Oh, I like that. The ancient Romans used to drop a piece of toast into their wine for good health, hence why we raise a toast. Oh. Yeah, I didn't really need to know that. The heart of a shrimp is located in its head. Well, then that's its chest, right? No? People are more creative in the shower. I bet they are. Nutmeg is an hallucinogen. Excuse me, I need to go snort some nutmeg. A chef's hat has 100 pleats. Apparently, it's meant to represent the 100 ways you can cook an egg. What? In this egg economy, 100 ways? I guess you kind of have to stretch an egg, right? I know 3 ways, okay? I don't know the other 97. In 2014, there was a Tinder match in Antarctica. I didn't even have the app. There's like 6 people in Antarctica. Just like, hi, like, what? The Japanese word kuchizamishi is the act of eating when you're not hungry. I'm guilty of that. Because your mouth is lonely? Same thing in the gay community. I don't know about you, but I love single location horror movies. Something like The Void. I just watched this the other day. It came out way back in 2017, which feels like 300 years ago. It's an hour and 30 minutes long. It's a horror movie. Cloaked, cult-like figures trap a police officer, patients, and staffers inside a hospital that is a gateway to evil. Bum, bum, bum. No. Critics loved it. Fans, not so much. So yeah, it's a pretty simplistic, concept. You got these figures with these weird little triangles cutouts on their faces, part of a cult thing. It's like a very 80s throwback feel to it. Like, it's like a nostalgic B horror movie from 1983 or something. And ultimately, it's a creature feature. I mean, this is essentially a monster movie. And what I like so much about this movie is it doesn't really try to do much of anything. Spoiler alert, all right, and just in case, They don't really give you a whole ton of explanation about this cult, or they don't really spoon feed you the answers as to what these creatures truly are. And sometimes that doesn't work in movies, but in this case, it works well. At least I think it did. Sometimes the less explanation makes it a better film, as long as everything else works, and in this case, I think it does. To also kind of give you that 80s throwback feel, they don't really use a lot of CGI in this movie. From what I understand, it's primarily actual, animatronics, puppets, practical effects, like the creatures are, they're not CGI. But yeah, it all takes place in just this one building, this hospital. And I like when horror movies do that. I don't know, there's something about it when, it's just you're focused on one spot, one locale, kind of like a bottle episode from a TV show. I don't know, I just find them to be more entertaining, more enjoyable. I don't know why, I just do. The Void isn't some sort of Oscar caliber movie by any means. But for me, it's not even close to being a bad movie. I just thought it was a really solid film. It looked great, sounded great. The actors, for the most part, are all kind of unrecognizable, which makes it less of a distraction, I think. And it's just good old campy B-movie horror fun. That's, sometimes that's all you really need or want. And I just thought it all kind of meshed well together. Even if these people didn't like it so much, jerks. I watched it through Prime Video, but I think you can also watch it through Peacock. So it's just a good little monster flick. Check it out if you want. So I just finished watching the X trilogy, and wow, I really enjoyed them. So the trilogy starts with the movie that's called X. And that's because it's about a group of people who are filming an X-rated movie on a farm when bloody chaos ensues. Now, Mia Goth, this actress here, she plays the lead character, Maxxine, but she also plays essentially the villain of the first movie, Pearl, this lady here. Yeah, that's the same actress. And so this is kind of like your prototypical, slasher movie. You probably would expect something like this in the 70s or the 80s. It had a very Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of tone to it, which I really dug. I really kind of appreciated the throwback slasher. It looked great. It sounded great. Everything about the movie was just really unexpectedly fantastic. Then they make a sequel which came out the same year, and it's called Pearl. It's not actually a sequel, it's a prequel. So Pearl is this character, like I said earlier, played by Mia Goth. She comes back for the second movie to play the younger version of Pearl. And that takes place in like 1918 or something like that. And it's like her dark origin story. And Mia Goth in this movie here is where she is the absolute best. I was seeing that she was getting like a slew of like award nominations for this. I was like, really? It's a horror movie, right? But man, is she fucking good. She gives like this 5-minute monologue at, like towards the end of this movie. And it is just so fucking... I don't know. It's just she is absolutely insane, but it like in a really, really good way. And then the trilogy ends with this movie called Maxxxine. So it goes back to Mia Goth playing the Maxxxine character from the first movie X, but now it's like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years later when the Night Stalker is attacking, Los Angeles. So it still has like a slasher type vibe to it. But really the showcase of all of these movies is Mia Goth. This is her in the first movie playing Maxxxine. This is Pearl. And then this is her playing the slightly older version of this character. And she has this like really deep southern accent. Kind of like a slow drawl to her voice. And I don't know, there's just something so soothing about it. Something just so comforting about that voice. I'm sorry. But I suspect that she will be... in a lot more films in her career because she is incredibly talented. I mean, to take like a slasher horror movie type deal and to churn out a fantastic performance within that, that's unheard of. And what I liked about this entire trilogy was it's kind of also like a social commentary. Like me personally, I got the vibe that this was like a commentary on women in general, but women in Hollywood, that they have to work harder to become famous or to get work. Back in the 70s and 80s when the story takes place, it was all about, are you willing to show your boobs? Like, really? And it kind of like showcases that, I'm her as a woman, I can do more than that, I'm better than that, I'm bigger than that, I can be a star. And she's got to do what she's got to do to get there. But then you also have like this fucking bloodfest circling around all of it. So all 3 of these movies, if you have HBO Max, they're all on there now. I know that this movie and this movie came out literally within the same year. They were like filming this during the pandemic. And then they're like, fuck it, let's just film the second one at the same time. That's what they did there. And then this one came out just last year. To me, well worth it. All 3 of them are really good. I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score. All of them are like at 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. Actually, I just looked it up. I lied. The third one has 72%, but still very fresh. But X is at 94%. Pearl's at 93%. Like, these are really good movies. So yeah, if you're into like slasher horror stuff, but kind of like the more nostalgic throwback feel to it, I would definitely recommend the X trilogy. They're really good. I enjoyed them a lot. So TikTok has started doing this thing where they'll send you messages congratulating you that your video has gotten a small amount of views. Wow, this video is a hit. 5,000 views is not a hit, especially considering the page has 560,000 followers. But thank you, I guess, for congratulating me that you have decided to show my videos to a very tiny portion of my followers. Should I be thanking? What do you want from me? What do you want from me, TikTok? I'm going to let this video drag out to be over a minute long in case it does get a couple of views so I can get paid for it, but I'm just confused. Aren't you guys in control of this? TikTok, aren't you the ones who make this happen? How come you're not doing it more? Just a question. I'm just curious. It's basically like you're kicking me in the nuts. Haha, you have 560,000 followers. Congratulations for your video getting 5,000 or 2,000 views. Idiot. That's how I feel you're talking. That's how I feel this is actually meant as. Dicks. Anyway, we're 15 seconds over a minute now, so hopefully some people see this. Okay, bye. Hey, let's do a new series where we read through a 1987 TV guide, page by page, huh? See what was on TV in 1987 when I was 2 years old. In honor of my upcoming 40th birthday, I was in this TV guide because I almost wasn't going to have a 40th birthday, let alone a third. I've shown this many times before, but that is me right there. I was in Children's Hospital because I had nephrotic syndrome and I was dying. But obviously I did not. And here I am 40 years later, folks. Anyway, let's start with the front. Okay, we got Sybil Shepherd and exposing media myths. TV doesn't affect you as much as you think. Behind Sybil Shepherd's battles on the moonlighting set. Ooh, that should be juicy goss. I have to open this page like it's the Declaration of Independence because it's basically going to rip apart just in the air. All right, first page, we got ourselves a cigarette ad. He wants us to light his lucky. I'll light your... The next page, just boring shit. Okay, I don't know why I did one backwards again. Exposing media myths. TV doesn't affect you as much as you think. Well, sure, when you are facing away from the television in your very oddly placed chair. Yes, young folk, TVs were once that big. We would brag about a 14-inch TV. And it weighed 973 pounds. Okay, so we're not going to actually read through all of these myths because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages long. So we're going to skip that for now. But now we got a Century 21 advertisement. Hey, like that one lady who used to work for Century 21 until she was racist. Century 21 having an open house weekend, June 6th through 7th. Nice, you guys better get there. You got plenty of time though, it's only March. This weekend, your chances of finding the home you've been looking for are better than ever. Because this weekend is Century 21 open house weekend. If you've been thinking of buying your first home or a bigger home, now is the best time. Call your local Century 21 office. They'll give you all the details of the Century 21 open house weekend. It's the right time for you to find the right home at the right price. The right price back then in 1987 for a house? $9. Today, $19.3 million. Okay, next page, Rudy. I'll only do these 3 minutes at a time. Hal Williams and the 227 ladies. Damn, Hal. You better be on your game, or they will get you. Ooh. The male star takes plenty of good-natured ribbing on the set of this mostly female show. What show was that? 227? Insider Grapevine, Clash of the Titans? Is that the lady from Cheers? I think I wanted to go into broadcast journalism even as far back as high school, Jane Pauley confessed at a recent industry luncheon in New York City. That's nice. I don't care, though. The co-host of NBC's Today Show added that she began preparing for that career by competing in high school debates in which she did admirably. I'd go to speech meets on Saturdays, and the only person who could ever beat me was Shelley Long. That's right. That Shelley Long. And to be continued. Dun, dun, dun! My children's hospital story, of course. Yes, I can share that. So originally I am from San Diego, hence the Padres attire I frequently wear. But I was born in Escondido. When I was born basically dead. I had no heartbeat. I had nothing. I was beep. And I was born 12 pounds, a little over 12 pounds, natural birth. Mom's a hero. But for the first 5 minutes of my life, I was essentially dead. The doctor gave me mouth to mouth. I always say that the first thing I ever saw was a dude kissing me, and that's why I'm gay. Creepy. But basically, I would kind of frequent the hospital after that. When I was, I think, 18 months old or so, I was diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome, which back in 1986-87 was essentially like almost like a cancer to kids. It's not really a cancer, but it was very similar. But it was a fatal thing with a lot of children back then. Nowadays, obviously, I don't think it's anywhere near that extreme, to my knowledge. I'm not sure, though. But it's a severe kidney disorder. I actually still have a scar on my right kidney from when they did an operation to remove tissue from my kidney. Let me see if I can show it. So that right there, that is a scar above my kidney, or with my kidney. But for the next 2-3 or so years, I was basically not living in Children's Hospital, but it was my home away from home, where I was getting treatment every couple of weeks. And essentially they gave me, I got the same drugs they would administer for chemotherapy is what I would get, because that's how they treated it back then. Again, I don't know if it's the same treatment now. But after a few years, it saved my life, and it went into remission when I was, I think, around 4 years old or so, and I've been in remission ever since. I have kidney issues throughout my entire life. I get kidney infections kind of frequently. I've really had one in a while, knock on wood. But all of the medications and drugs they gave me when I was a toddler, they told my parents, like, it's gonna, hopefully it's gonna save his life, but it's going to also cause permanent issues down the road, which I now as an adult have to deal with. It completely jacked up my entire skeletal system. I was starting to get diagnosed with significant back issues when I was in my mid-20s, and it's just only gotten worse, as well as the bones in my neck. My teeth would start falling out. My teeth never grew in properly. I mean, they grew in, but they were like smaller than most people's teeth. And then eventually my teeth just started falling out as an adult, which is why I now have dentures on my top row. I can't afford actual teeth. But yeah, I'm alive, so 40 years later, here I am. So yeah, that's the story. Unseen is a new movie that I just watched, and you can watch it too on Prime Video. Came out in 2023, it's an hour and 16 minutes long, described as a horror movie. Two women form an unlikely connection when a depressed gas station clerk named Sam receives a call from Emily, a nearly blind woman who is running from her murderous ex in the woods. Emily must survive the ordeal with Sam being her eyes from afar using video call. And they got, minimal reviews, but good reviews. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. This character here, I mean, it starts right away. There's no, character development or anything like that. She's just already a captive of her abusive ex, and then she finds a way to escape. She doesn't have her glasses, and so she, literally can't see anything. Which, I don't wear glasses, I don't wear contacts or anything, so I don't know how realistic that truly is. But that's the whole premise of the movie, is the fact that she can't see anything without her glasses. It's just a ball of blur. So I don't know, is that accurate? Is that true to life for you guys who have, vision stuff going on? Basically, she just kind of accidentally calls this gas station clerk and says, hey, please help me. I need you to video call with me so you can tell me where to go, how to get away from him. And here's the thing. The idea is really good. I liked it. I feel like it would have been maybe more believable if the character was just legit, just completely blind. But that being said, there actually were some pretty intense moments in this movie. My heart was racing a little bit at times. But this is a movie that to me had way too much filler, too much extra stuff. This would have been a much more effective movie if it was a short film, 30, 40 minutes long, instead of, an actual hour, 15, 20 minute long movie. They had to give the gas station attendant her own, intense thing going on at the gas station. I don't really know why they had to do that, though, because they created this scenario that was honestly kind of stupid. She steals this horrible woman's phone and locks herself in this little cage and where the register is, and then this lady comes in with her husband, and they bring guns with them. They're starting to shoot things, and when the police get called, it's just it's too much. It's too damn much. Because then you also, as that's happening to her, you have the actual stuff happening to the other character, and it's just too distracting. It's too much going on. They didn't need to give her own perilous story. I understand to a point why they did. I think a lot of it was to maybe show her resilience, and because they very barely touched on a backstory for her about how she gives up on everything. And so this storyline was to prove that I guess she's not going to give up this time. I don't know. Again, I liked the concept of this movie. It was a good movie, but at times it was just too long. It would have been way more effective as a shorter film. And maybe not done so much extreme stuff on this side of the story. I don't know. Have you guys seen it? What do you guys think? This is just my opinion, of course. And my opinion may be very different than yours, and that's okay. I would probably give it 5.5 out of 10. The idea is good. The concept is nice. Just it should have been trimmed down, and a lot of stuff should have been trimmed out altogether. So decent, but eh.